Hello, it's Jim Amon here with Amon Real Estate, and I wanted to talk with you about enforcing the terms of the RPA. I was recently called a bully. Yes, a bully, because I enforce the terms in the RPA. The buyer's agent felt I was being a bully because my client was going to cancel the contract if the buyer didn't close escrow on their cash offer per the terms of the contract. My client was doing a 1031 exchange, so timing was vital to him, and he wanted the timelines enforced. I have noticed a lot more lately that agents don't seem to understand. The RPA is a legally binding contract that both brokerages and both buyer and seller have agreed to in writing. That means agents can't ignore the terms of the contract. We either need to meet the terms or do an addendum that all parties agree to changing the terms in writing. The National Association of Realtors Code of Ethics, Article 1 states, when representing a buyer, seller, landlord, tenant, or other clients as an agent, realtors pledge themselves to protect and promote the interests of their client. Does ignoring the terms in the contract sound like you are protecting and promoting your client's interests? If you are a listing agent and the buyer doesn't remove their contingencies in the agreed upon timeline, for example, you are putting your client at risk, because if the transaction falls apart, every extra day it takes to cancel costs the seller money. Another example is if you are representing the buyer and the list agent doesn't provide you the disclosures in the time the contract states, the client can be harmed, because if they saw information in the disclosure that would lead them to canceling, they wouldn't have wasted their money on a home inspection. There are lots of other examples I could give, but the point is, as a real estate professional, we need to understand these are legally binding contracts that we need to follow, because if we don't follow them, not only are we not protecting and promoting the interests of our clients, but when you get named in a lawsuit or you have a complaint filed against you, then you will have to explain to the judge or the BRE why you didn't follow the terms of the contract. You won't like the result of that conversation, by the way. So here are a few tips on how to follow the contract. Number one, make sure the buyer turns in the EMD in the timeline agreed to. If you are the buyer's agent, follow up with your client to make sure that it was done. If you are the listing agent, verify with escrow funds have been received. If they have not been received, send a notice to perform to the buyer. Number two, if you are the listing agent and a contingency timeline has come, call the buyer's agent and ask for the contingency removal. If you don't have it the day it is due, send a notice to perform. If you are the buyer's agent, make sure you have prepared your client in advance for the contingency timelines. If there was an unexpected issue from an inspection and you had to order an additional inspection, just submit an addendum with a contingency extension request and let the list agent know why there is a delay and why you need the extension. Number three, whether you are the list agent or the buyer's agent, make sure you are communicating with all the vendors so you can avoid lender or escrow delays. These vendors need to follow the contract timelines as well, and I always hold them accountable every week to make sure they are on track to close on time. For example, make sure the lender ordered the appraisal within a couple days of an executed contract. 2 weeks in, make sure the lender can tell you the date they expect the CD to be issued. Make sure escrow has ordered the HOA docs within a day or two of escrow being opened. Make sure escrow has provided the preliminary title report the first week and ordered a loan payoff at least 10 days prior to close of escrow. Number 4, when you receive a notice to perform from another agent, don't get upset or call them a bully. They are just doing their job and protecting their clients' interests and themselves. Understand the timelines in the contract and follow them. So again, just to recap, you are not a bully if you enforce the timelines. You are actually a real estate professional protecting and promoting your clients' interests. Understand, this is a legally binding contract, not just an outline. A few of the important things you can do to enforce the terms of the contract are make sure the buyer's deposit is turned in on time, remove contingencies on time, and communicate with the vendors regularly so you can hold them accountable. Use the tools the RPA calls for, such as notice to perform and notice to close, to protect and promote your clients' interests. And don't get upset at other agents for using these tools because they are simply doing their job. I hope you enjoyed today's topic on Are You a Bully if you enforce the terms of the RPA. Feel free to email me with any questions on today's discussion. Again, I am Jim Amon with Amon Real Estate. Check back soon for more tips.